Welcome everybody to the Reality or Not podcast. You in tune with your boy DJ Reality and your boy Ed chopping them down Williams. How you doing over there, Eddie?
I'm all right, man. What about you? You and these nicknames?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just enjoying life. Nice weather. It's not too hot outside. I mean, it's not too cold outside, so it's just been a good feel up in Atlanta. How's it holding down up in Detroit? How's the weather for you?
It's weather. I don't know.
I mean, cold,
Cold.
hot.
So, why you care?
I care,
Cold.
man. I care. I care about your surroundings. I care about you as a person. You know, you are a special person.
Your. Did you talk to your mom?
Yes, I talked to my mom like before I started the pod.
Uh, what did she tell you the weather was like?
She told me to call Ed and ask you. She wanted me
No,
to show my love for you. So I wanted to understand how
no.
you are
Miss
acclimating to this climate.
Miss McMillan won't say no bullshit like that.
that that she said make sure Ed tell you how the weather is around him. If he's stuck in snow, if he need new tires, whatever Eddie needs, got to make sure Eddie feels good out there within the Detroit streets.
If
Pause.
if I need new tires, we're gonna cop them.
I mean, I'm always willing to help if I can.
Whatever. It did snow yesterday, actually.
Oh damn! Shit, is it
For a
sticking?
quick second. No, I didn't stick.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah, that's
snow.
uh,
Now I think it turned to rain.
yeah, but that's good. At least that shit didn't stay for a while. It's
Yeah.
like Atlanta. It was cold. It was hot Wednesday, but then it was cold as hell Thursday, and it started back warming up. Now it's around like 60, 65. So it ain't like hot, but it ain't like cold either. So
I got you.
yeah,
It makes sense. That works.
yeah. So we jump into it. First off, man, R.I.P. George Foreman. Let me ask you this question, Ed. When was the first time you had a George Foreman grill?
Probably college. Probably college. I have one now that I make these little, I don't know what they are, some kind of Taco Bell inspired dish burrito. Is that George Foreman? Yeah, I think it is a George Foreman. But yeah, I think our first one was college. What about yours?
Is the George Foreman a variation, or is it like the clamp down one that we had in college, the one that you just mentioned?
I mean, it's a clamp down one, but it's a different shape.
Hmm.
Like it's more like rectangular, but it's not
Oh,
that big. It's not round like the other ones were. It might not be a George Foreman though. I don't know.
and no, because my
I'm not gonna
mom, my
lie.
mom had like tons of them. Where my mom just liked to buy appliances and stuff, and I mean, you had
Right.
asked me about me getting a George Foreman. I got one in college, and I still remember one of my friends in college making tacos on a George Foreman. I was like, but they
Oh, that's
had it broken down like they was grilling all of the taco meat and all that stuff. And I was just like, damn, like sometimes we be not necessarily resourceful, but if a nigga wants some tacos, shoot, I mean, you could hook them up, buy a pack of hamburger meat, a pound or two, and throw it on the George Foreman. But no, that George Foreman was clutch. I mean,
wow.
I had a George Foreman from college all the way. I would say probably maybe 2000. It used to just sit on my counter or on my in the kitchen,
Right,
but
right.
probably about a smooth 10, 15 years after. So, and it's just weird to think that George Foreman is more known for his grills than him actually being a pretty good boxer. I think he's
Yeah,
two-time world champion, and fought Muhammad Ali, fought some great fights. But it's just crazy to think that when I think of George Foreman, I think about the grill.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's true. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I cried.
you cried? Damn.
Hmm.
Oh man. Do you need some consolement? Are you doing okay
Nope.
right
Nah, I'm doing okay right now. Somebody else died too.
now? Who?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure somebody dies every day. So
Oh, no, I mean niggas die every day, B. Um,
I thought
but
it was another famous person, but
mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to
Gene
think who.
Hackman was a while ago.
Shit, man. Look, I don't know how they be putting this stuff together, but I saw it might have been on Max or Hulu. but it was a documentary or a video talking about the last days of Gene Hackman. And I'm like, damn, how y'all get this shit together so quick? You know what I'm saying? Like, when that what less than 2 weeks ago, maybe no more than a month, right?
Yeah, they probably killed him for the news story.
Damn, yeah, and pretty much put a light on him to say, okay, Gene Hackman is over here, or the paparazzi is like, okay, this is how you kill him. You know,
Yeah. Oh, Roberta Flack died.
Roberta
I think
Flack
that's a
died.
week or two ago.
No,
Yeah.
that was this past. You're
Was that
right. That
this
was
week? Was it?
yeah. I think
Okay.
I want to say this. It was within a week. For what I remember, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was like within this past week. But it was definitely around. George Foreman was a couple days ago. Yeah, and I want to say Roberta Flack died no more than 2 weeks ago. So it was within
No,
the past.
she was actually February 24th. I feel like I
No,
feel like we
they
just
held that
heard
story.
about that. Yeah,
They
they
held
had
that story.
this.
No, because
We,
I didn't see, random people be texting me random stuff that I really don't, not to say I don't care about, but it was like
it's
I
all
don't
right.
remember. I remember getting a text about her down. I was like, damn, that's crazy. But but to be honest, I didn't know that she was still living. Just straight up.
I mean,
But
that's fair. That's how
yeah,
I feel about some of these people. It's
yeah,
somebody that's old as hell that I'm like, damn, they still alive. I should have said
yeah.
that.
Yeah, how's Gene Hackman when he was 95 or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
He was kind of up there. I was like, damn,
Hmm.
you was kind of old, homie. You was still around.
Yep. I did not know that at all. But
Yeah, he was.
yeah. So
But
let me ask this question to pivot the conversation. How do you feel about the tournament, or have you had a chance to watch any of the March Madness recently?
I watched a couple games yesterday, the Michigan game, and then Arkansas and St. John's second half. Uh, I mean, I ain't really. I'm just rooting for Duke to lose. It look like it's gonna
Did,
be hard this year.
did Flat come back?
Yeah, he did, man. Too bad it couldn't been a career in the ACL.
Damn, you want to you want to get taken out like I look Duke and hoop. He's one of those dudes that like he's a all around player. That's why I like him, but he's just one of them dudes that just can do everything on the court. And you would look back at the stat line, you'd be like, damn, he had
Yeah,
18 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and you wouldn't even realize it was within the flow of the game.
yeah. I mean, he all right, but they gotta lose. I don't even know what they bracket look like. Oh, I think they no. I
I
saw
got
their
them
bracket.
going all the way to the two. Hell, I technically in one bracket, I made two brackets. I got them going up against Michigan State. I got Duke winning in one bracket and Michigan State winning in the other one.
Uh, nice supporting your school.
Yeah, I mean, I like people say state bracket is hard. I mean, they had a hard time with Bryant in the first half. But one thing I noticed, and I heard this stat, they had a stat. I didn't realize this. This is where they're going to end up getting knocked down. But they had a stat that they shoot like 28 or 29% for the 3 pointer. And it's
Okay.
like 328th in the NCAA. And I was like,
Hmm.
damn, like, I mean, but they play teams hard enough where they make them struggle from outside. So it's just tricky that, like, when you run into a team that's going to have like high power, from that can shoot from outside, that's when they're going to meet their match. But they keep playing these gritty teams. I mean, they got Bryant, or they had was it Bryant? Not Bryant. I can't think of the name of it. I think it was Bryant. Whichever team that they played on Friday, but then they got Mexico today, and it's like I worry that, like I said, if that team has strong outside shooting, you know, um, the one-on-one matchups, you just go kick their ass. So
That's it. I got you.
yeah. So
Yeah, man.
who would you pick to win it if you within your or who did you pick in your bracket, or did you make a bracket?
No, I didn't do a bracket. I'll probably be impartial to Auburn and Alabama since that's where my family from. The state can make a run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, look, the only investment I have is that Duke loses.
Okay.
That's all I care about. Like I don't really. I'm trying to look at the bracket now. Like I mean, Michigan's probably gonna get popped by Auburn.
Hmm.
Um, but like a lot of my family, my favorite cousin, he's an Auburn fan. Most of my family is Bama fans. So and then State is I'm always rocking with State and Izzo.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, as I look at this bracket, anybody but Duke. Yeah, that's it. Anybody but Duke. You know,
Yeah,
I'll
I mean,
be
people were
okay with.
saying, yeah, no, people were saying that the state has a tough bracket. I think a they have a tough bracket, but they have an easier bracket, in my opinion, than what they've had in the past. I remember sometimes it's
Okay.
like, damn, like because they will always end up being pitted as a eighth or ninth seed, and they tend to play the 1 to 3 seeds earlier. So it's
Right,
just
right.
weird to I mean the seeding being at 2, it made it a little bit easier for them for their path to go. And I was worried that when they lost in the Big Ten tournament that their seeding would be impacted. But I read somewhere or I got sent the article that said that even if they lost within that bracket, that I mean within that tournament, that they still would most likely get in as a 2 seed. So
Okay.
um, they playing good basketball though. I mean, it's weird, and I didn't realize this. And you used to, well, not to say that you're not a fan of them now, but I was looking up some stuff, and this is like 2 times I've seen this, and I didn't realize it and pay attention to it because it's kind of close as far as in Michigan State. But one thing I noticed is that um, Calipari coached DeJuan Wagner, and he coached his son. And
Oh yeah, because the son goes to Arkansas.
yeah,
No, okay,
no,
yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah,
hmm yeah.
yeah, I
So
saw that yesterday.
yeah, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, he coached what at Memphis, so I think it was Memphis, might have been
Yeah,
Memphis State at that
Memphis.
time, but yeah, the fact that he coached him and his son. But then I thought about it like with Izzo, coaching Jason Richardson and then coaching his son. It's like that's crazy. Like coaches have been around a long enough time to coach the children of the players that they had within the past. And I mean, it's not as if it's any nepotism or anything like that. DeJuan Wagner,
Right.
and I don't know what happened with him because he was a highly rated. I don't know if he did he catch an injury or something like that I'm missing because it's just
Yeah, it's
weird
okay.
that he kind of went under the radar, whereas he was highly touted at one point in time. Like, did he get an injury or anything? Or
You got some kind of injury his rookie year that was kind of, I think, derailed his career. But that
oh,
was because he was in Cleveland. Um, it was
oh no, no,
something.
no, no, not DeJuan Wagner. I'm talking about his son.
Oh, that I can't tell you. That I can't.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't even know his son was hooping for Arkansas until I heard some kind of reference to it yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
think
He's
that
going to
ended up
St.
happening with the
Louis.
Calipari thing. Honestly, the Calipari connection. Um, hell,
Okay.
I mean, to be truthfully honest, I remember I was watching a game or at a game. I was like, wait a minute, where's Calipari? I didn't realize Calipari wasn't even coaching Kentucky anymore, and apparently they kind of just maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but they kind of got swept under the rug for him to switch off, because he had a lot of success with getting a lot of players into the league, through
Yeah, I
that
remember.
Kentucky funnel. But I didn't realize he wasn't even coaching Kentucky until the start of the season. So,
Yeah, I vaguely remember him leaving Kentucky. Then I forgot he was at Arkansas,
mhm.
and then I didn't realize Rick Pitino had went to St. John's earlier in the year. But
Mhm.
then when I turned on the game, I didn't even realize they were coaching against each other. That was like, oh, and like I vaguely remember uh, Calipari leaving Kentucky, but I can't remember like why he left.
Yeah.
Um, I've
I
because
tried
I
to
feel like with
I tried to look it up and I didn't see anything. Like it was maybe some disagreement, maybe with recruiting. I can't remember specifically, but it wasn't like a direct. I felt like it was a PR move as far
right,
as protect, like, this is why, like, it never came out this is why Calipari left Kentucky as far as you know scams or anything like that, or Louisville with the hoes and shit like that. Like it never came out. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see it that this is why Calipari was leaving. So it just ended up stepping down last minute because I didn't see anything to it. Like I said, it might have been it was the championships. Was it the championships when Michigan State either play Kansas, Kentucky, or I'm missing the school. Kansas, Kentucky, Duke. Yeah, Kansas, Kentucky, Duke, or Michigan State. Whenever they called it a championship series, but whenever they when they were playing, I was like, damn, I didn't realize that Calipari wasn't even on the bench anymore. Then I started looking it up. I was like, oh, okay, kind of quote unquote got swept under the rug. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, boy.
all
Yeah,
right,
he
but I mean,
upset
I'm
me now.
rooting for the Spartans. Go green. Um, I looked at some stat too. I think the Big Ten is 10-0 right
I,
now. Um, well, I'm not sure about today, but as of yesterday, they were 10-0 as far as champion. I know Michigan won yesterday too, a close game. But yeah, man. I mean, go Big Ten. Even though I feel like the Big Ten is getting way too big, but it is what it is. I mean, it just is. It's like it used to be more regional, and like I said, I care less. It ain't impacting my money, but you add in schools like USC or Oregon or Washington, et cetera. It just feel like the I feel like that's where the NCAA is headed to just have four large conferences, and these are the ones that really matter. So
yeah, I could see that.
yeah,
Yeah, cause I don't really get it. Cause then you got Maryland and is it Rutgers in the Big Ten? Not Big
yeah,
Ten too.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, you got Washington, you got USC, you got Oregon, then you got all of the original ones. But it's just especially for football because you got the football. Well, in football you got the Big Ten East and Big Ten West. Um,
yeah.
so, but sometimes it's more heavy loaded in one conference versus the other. Because I've seen, not to say Wisconsin has some cakewalks to the Big Ten championships, but sometimes I've seen, and I'm not sure which one is the East or the West, but whichever one Wisconsin is in, they've had a easier, not easier route, but they had a better. They didn't have as many nationally ranked teams,
It's okay to
or
say
that had,
easy.
huh?
It's okay to say easy. Somebody gonna kill you if you say what's easier.
People find a reason, but yeah, I've seen them have a easier road, or the teams that they were playing against have a easier strength of schedule than
Right.
the other side of the bracket. I think it's the Big Ten East that's normally with the stronger ones, whatever. But um, needless to say, so let me ask you this question: how do you feel about the Lakers now without LeBron? Like, how do you feel like? Because I think they're currently 6-4 without LeBron playing. Some of that is attributed to it. Not all of that is Luca, but
LeBron
they
just
seem,
came back though, didn't he?
if he came back, it would have been yesterday or today.
Yesterday, yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean,
but I mean, well, let me reverse the question. Do you think they have a shot in the West, or who would you pick to still like? Do you think OKC is still come out the West? Do you think Denver? Go well. Steph, I don't know if they gave a timeline on his injury, but are they
I
still
mean,
in consideration or
regardless of injuries, I go. Oh, I'm going with OKC or Denver.
okay?
Um, I don't even with the Lakers. I mean, they'll be a tough out. I'm trying to look at the standings now. Um, I
It
don't
gets
know if they can
interesting
beat
with the Lakers.
OKC in a 7 game series.
Yeah, because the Lakers beat Denver the other day, but they beat them without Jokic and Murray. So I mean, I don't
Yeah,
really consider that a quality win. But then again, LeBron didn't play either. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like LeBron not playing. I think LeBron is a type of player that he's going to fit in. So
yeah,
so Jokic, Luca getting that chemistry with everybody else without LeBron in is almost
Yeah,
it works for them.
yeah.
So it's almost like if
That's
LeBron played least or less amount of games, the better the chemistry can be between the rest of the team with Luca. But then when LeBron comes back, the chemistry I don't think drops off. So
right. Yeah. So they lost by 31 last night to the Bulls.
I should now I wonder what the plus minus is with LeBron. But then again, you trying to incorporate LeBron back in it, so who knows? But I
Right.
wonder what the plus. I wonder what LeBron's plus minus on that was because I automatically point to that to being potentially the problem. But I think that's just kind of him just coming back and getting into the mix.
Right. Right.
So, do you
Yeah.
think out of the East for you got Cleveland, Boston, the Knicks? Do you still think that, or what would be? Do you think that Boston are still the ones to beat, or do Cleveland, who has the best record in the East, or even the Knicks? I think the Knicks might be a third seed right now, or maybe fourth. I got
Yeah.
to look.
They,
Yeah.
they third.
Yeah. How do you feel about them, or how do you feel about who can come out of the East still?
I mean, Boston is the champs. I mean, they're probably the team to go through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Cleveland can beat them in a 7 game series. I feel like it's probably Boston or Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know that I believe in the Knicks that much to beat either one of those teams in a 7 game series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how do
But
you
they
feel about
might.
Detroit?
Detroit is the dark horse to win the championship.
If so I'm looking at it right now. If it stays the
They're
same,
six.
yeah. Do you think that Detroit can take out the Knicks?
I think they could. I think they could. I've heard some people saying that. Like I don't think Detroit would be an easy out for New York. Um,
New York is an up and down team to me. I do like New York
yeah,
squad. I mean, I think Cat kind of, he still be kind of suspect at times, but that's just his personality, not him on the court. Um,
yeah.
so I put like
Plus,
this: Detroit would be better served in the fifth seed. I'm looking at Milwaukee in the fifth seed right now. Um, if they can get to Indiana, I would pick them above Indiana. Like if they fourth, fifth seed, um, I think that's a better chance for them to get to the second round. I do think that they could beat the Knicks, but I feel like not to say that they will just run through Indiana, but I think they have a better chance at beating Indiana than the Knicks.
no, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I think so. And then I think they would have a better chance of beating Cleveland than say Boston, which
Yeah,
Cleveland's who they play in the second round.
yeah.
But nah, I mean, Detroit could probably get to the second round. I mean, I think Detroit could get to the second round, which I think, considering what last season was, just them getting into the playoffs and not in the playoff tournament, but actually getting in like
Hmm.
a guaranteed spot is much improvement over like right now. If they were to lose out for the rest of the season, it'd be much improved than what it was last season. So I think like I could see them getting to the second round, but then I could see them losing to uh, Boston or Cleveland, whoever they would get in that matchup. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Indiana would probably be the better matchup, but I think also Detroit, because they have nothing to lose. Like I think they could go into a series with New York with not a lot of pressure. I don't think people would expect a lot out of them,
Hmm.
but I think they had the tools to beat New York. I know some people have talked about like the Cunningham and Brunson matchup, with Cunningham being what 6'7" or whatever.
Hmm.
I don't know if Detroit really has anybody that can. But see, I don't know. Detroit has a couple big. They got Isaiah Stewart, uh, Duran. Now I don't know how they match up defensively against Cat,
Hmm.
um, but the Knicks are just tricky because I feel like when the Knicks like are actually like when they're on,
Yeah,
I
they
mean
they have they could beat anybody.
yeah, and like
I
I just
really feel
don't
like that. I'll keep going. My bad.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, when they're on, I think they can beat anybody, and I think they have enough to beat Detroit in the first round. But like, I don't know if they have enough to like. I don't know if they can do 4 out of 7 games against like Cleveland or Boston, especially Boston.
Yeah.
Uh, I think like, but I think that, but that's the thing. Like when they're on, like I don't know, New York is just like they seem like they should be like legitimate like contenders, but
You just don't
it's
know.
weird they don't. Yeah, like they don't. But like I mean, you know, Brunson is a dog. Like Cat is actually having double digit boards. Like Cat's numbers when I looked them at the All Star break, like I was like, dang, his numbers is not as soft as his personality.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
like he, and then you got
What do you put up?
the,
What, like 24 and like 10, 11, something like that?
yeah, like kind of almost to me like ridiculous numbers. Well, not ridiculous. I mean, he
No,
won't put it.
I
He
saw
has
somewhere that they was saying like his stats and where he's at should be considered in the MVP circle. Um,
yeah, because he's averaging 24 and a half and 13 boards a
hmm
game, along doing 3 assists with that. I don't know. This isn't showing me like blocks or anything, but like that's the most boards he's averaged since 2018, 2019. Well, actually, it's his career high at 12.9 rebounds.
yeah, that don't even match his
Um,
sauciness.
nah, no, I don't. Like this ain't the dude that got punked out by Jimmy.
Like,
Jimmy.
yes.
Yeah, oh, saucy. He's the reason that his girl got
Oh
bounced
my
out the BBL
god.
bracket. Yeah, see stuff like that. That's why his girl got bounced out the BBL bracket in the first round.
That's funny. Oh man, yeah. I like my feelings about New York, man. Like I said, you mentioned this. They could be looked at that they could beat anybody if they on whatever.
Yeah,
But if they off, I mean, it like I go back and forth between Tibbs coaching because honestly, if he don't coach them, like I want to say run them in the ground, but if he don't play a lot of minutes of his players, they're not gonna win.
nah,
So it's just it's just what it is. It's like I need to check and see, but is how long is Michael Bridges out? 'Cause I think he's out for a little bit.
oh, is he? That's what I was
He was
trying to
either
think
he's out for a little bit,
of.
or because I know he had to sit. I want to say this week sometime. Um, but but yeah, I mean they have the roster to match up at every position or at a lot of positions. But
Yeah,
I, like I said, it just depends on which New York team happens to show up. I mean, Brunson is solid. Cat is solid, or great, or they're both great. But it just depends on um, the energy of the team and being able to, like you said, win 4 out of 7 games. So,
right.
to add to that, how do you feel? Do you think that um, the 7 to 10 still makes sense? Like the play in. Like, do you like? How do you feel about the play in?
I mean, I get. I mean, they just kind of doing it to me just for like the little money grab. I I think, man, you should just do 1 through 8.
Yeah.
Like you should like take it how it was. Like I mean, I don't know because uh, no, I mean, I guess if you were a 9th or 10th seed, to give you a glimmer of hope that you might be able to get into the playoffs if you can win a couple of games. But I don't really. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't like it. Like I'm kind of indifferent to it, but like I don't see the purpose of it.
Hmm.
I would probably make an argument like you could get rid of that and then just go back. I think they do this in hockey. Reseed the reseed after every playoff after the playoffs. Like like yeah, reseed. So like teams with the best records and all that, they match up the way they should. Like, but I don't even know if that's necessary. Honestly, like I didn't have a problem with the 1 through 8. Like,
Yeah, me neither. I thought it made sense. So let me ask this question: when you reseed, and you got more information on this than me, but like, say for instance, if it's 1 through 8, is it reseeding based off of East versus West, or is it reseeding based off of?
I think some people are talking about combining the playoffs between conferences, and I don't necessarily. That's not what I was
Ah,
talking about.
okay.
I was talking about like so in the Eastern Conference. Say like say okay, so say like in the eighth seed. I don't know. Say Orlando were to upset Cleveland, and
Mm-hmm.
then so then in the second round, what you have now is you still have like you have Boston as your two seed. We'll say I just for Detroit purpose, I'll say you got Boston at the two seed, Detroit beat New York, so they're the sixth seed. We'll say Indiana won as the fourth seed, and what did I say? Orlando
At
beat
the
Cleveland the eighth seed. So then when you reseed it, then because off time, so if you would have went with that, like you don't do the reseeding, then you would have had um, Indiana and Orlando playing each other, the four and the eight seed, and then you'd have Detroit and Boston,
okay.
the two and the six seed. But if you were to do a reseeding, then Boston would become the one seed. Um, Indiana would become the two seed. Detroit would be the three seed, and Boston. I'm not Boston, but Orlando will become the fourth seed. So then your matchup changes to Boston and
Orlando.
Orlando, and then Detroit and Indiana. So it's almost like you, in a way, like I guess the reseeding what ends up happening is like you kind of get it reseeded to where like essentially like if you're Boston, well you basically put the best against the worst again.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
and so like I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to that because as I think about that, like if that's how that would have played out in my mind, like then you mess around to me like Detroit will probably have a more realistic shot at getting to the conference finals then because now you don't have to play Boston in the second round. You play Indiana, who you said before they probably had a better shot at beating New York. Now you
Mm.
go up and then now you get to the conference finals and get mollywopped by Boston. But I
Okay.
guess you could
No,
say you made it to the
I like
conference
that.
final. Um, I'd
So
probably
so wait.
be
Go ahead. My bad.
no go. I'll say I'd probably be more on board. I mean, if you talking about shaking something up, I'd probably be more on board with that. Like I don't know. I don't know that it's necessary. But if you just want to switch something up, like I think the playing games are just like a play to get like more revenue because essentially you end up with per conference you end with three more games, so you end up with six more playoff games total. So
Okay.
like I mean for them it's probably just a money grab.
Hmm.
Like the NBA's like, hey, we got six more games. It's six games that all six of them get televised on national television. So when you dealing out your deals with TNT and ES, well not TNT anymore, but you can be like, hey, you got these six extra playoff games that's gonna be coming in. Like, I just see it more as a money grab on the league's part.
Hmm.
Uh, then I mean, because to part of me is like, man, if you got one of the top eight seeds in your conference, and maybe it's just because it's the NBA that we grew up watching, man, you should be in. You got one of the top eight seeds,
Yeah.
you should get in. But now if you get to the seventh or eighth seed, now you have to play to prove that. Now you have to play an extra game or extra two games to like get in.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, and I'm trying to think is has a nine or I feel like a nine or 10th seed have gotten into the playoffs maybe once or so. Um,
Yeah, I feel like they mostly played out the way that they were supposed to. So it just
yeah,
feels like it's just adding an extra game to the teams that's already should be seventh and eighth seeds.
yeah, and then even on that, if you're the seventh or eighth seed, like I mean, granted it's a long shot, but let's say you're the seventh seed, so you're playing this game, and like like those years that like the Lakers were in the seventh seed, they had to play the playing game. Like, well, let's just see who's the seventh seed right now here. Um, well, I'll just use the Lakers for the easy example than trying to look it up. But like, say the Lakers, say LeBron go out, or more likely Anthony Davis, who's fragile anyway. You up here playing you were the 7th seed, but now you gotta play to get into the playoffs. Anthony
Mhm.
Davis, I don't know, tear his hamstring, get a paper cut. So now he's out for the first round of the playoffs. Like, I mean, now granted, he probably would have got hurt.
Those are extreme.
And they are.
No, I'm saying that's 0 to
Yeah.
60 extreme injuries
I
between
mean,
a paper cut
but it's
and a
Anthony
hamstring.
Davis. Yeah, Anthony Davis. I feel like Anthony Davis will be out like 2 weeks with either one. With either one. He'd be like, oh, the paper cut is on my shooting hand. Oh, oh, I can't play. I can't rebound. Uh, but I guess probably, man, I get it, but I don't really like, cause see, as a Detroit fan, like, man, early on in the season, I was like, oh man, if Detroit can get into the 9th or 10th seeds, at least they're gonna be in the playing game.
Mhm.
Now no, I want Detroit to get that 6th seed because, hey, granted, we had damn near a 30 game losing streak last year, so you just be happy to get into any consideration for the playoffs. But now I'm like, nah, man, they too good
Yeah,
to
you
play
don't
in the
want to, you don't
playing
want to
game.
get popped. Yeah, you don't want to get
Yeah,
popped.
you like,
I think the
like,
6th or 5th seed, they got a chance. Like
yeah,
in the 7th seed, nobody. I mean, if it lays out or is the way it is right now, I don't think they have any
right,
chance against Boston. Or if they
yeah.
fall into the 8th seed, I think they have zero chance against Cleveland. I think they have a better
But
chance
then you,
against Cleveland.
yeah,
But I mean,
but
it's
then they,
just go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm saying, but then they still got to play to solidify the 7th or 8th seed. Like they still got to play the 9th or the 10th seed. And granted, they only got to win one game, but it's
Mhm.
still one game that
But
you
it's
got to
still it's
win.
it's NCAA. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
NCAA stuff. Like you lose, you going home, and you don't want
right.
to be in those positions where like it comes out to a game because as you said, I mean, Anthony Davis can have a paper cut or or a hamstring tear, and if he's out that one game and won't be ready for, I mean, well, if he would be ready for the playoff series, but he wouldn't be ready for that one game, that could impact
Yeah,
and end up knocking the Lakers out, even though the Lakers earn a 7th seed.
yeah. I mean, because yeah, even on that, like even like you said, like say it's Detroit, say like Cade Cunningham just takes a bad spill and
Mm-hmm.
he's out for the game. Not necessarily that he would have missed the upcoming playoff series, but he's out for the rest of this playing game. So
Mm-hmm.
now y'all lose. So now y'all out because whereas if you have been in a 7 game series, okay, maybe Cade goes on to game 1, maybe he misses game 2, but he can come back for games 3 and 4. Like, and granted, I mean, and like you said, I think most of the time it's played out that the 7 or 8 seeds still get in. Um, um, but like I said, I get it.
It's a money
I'm
grab. I
trying to
mean,
look now.
that's the bottom line.
Yeah,
I think that's about like I don't know how you can fix it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Adam Silver has a difficult job in order
mm-hmm.
to draw interest to the NBA because it's I'm with all these TV deals and stuff like that. It's just weird that I mean we talked about this one pod, but you give one player $50 million just because that's the max that you can give them. That takes away money from everybody else, which means that essentially you would only be able to trade max players for max players, or
Yeah,
you just trade your whole team. So Silver has a hard job at trying to. I mean, it's the NBA. Hopefully, it's not too difficult, but he has a hard job that of drawing interest to a sport that's an 82 game season. I mean, it's easy, in my opinion, to get that for the NFL because the NFL is what 17, 18 games,
right.
but so
Yeah,
you got that, and then you got the playoffs, which is 3 or 4 games, you know, um, for the NFL. So, I mean, I don't.
you said, well, I lost you for a second.
Oh, I said I didn't watch the NBA 82 games of all of these different teams and stuff
Right.
like that. Like no one's going to sit there and have that time. I remember one point in time, I remember us staying together and we had like league pass and it was just
Yeah.
like, why in the hell, like we can't watch all of these games. It's like, who's going to sit there and watch basketball all day from 7 p.m. to like West Coast time to like
Yeah.
1 a.m. It's like well,
Yeah.
we don't need that shit. But I'd rather just get the highlights and hear about it. But maybe that's why I don't watch the NBA as much as I used to. But I mean, I still watch it, but it's not as if I'm tuning in every day or damn near every week. Now I'm more so just rather see the highlights and hear about it than actually, and I'll sit down and watch a game, but I can't watch all of them. I can't tell
Nah.
you like if I watch this West Coast game, I'm not watching
Mhm.
this East Coast game, because I'm already trying to stay up past 9 or 10 p.m. trying to watch this West Coast game. So I'm definitely not going to watch a game before that. That's 6 hours of NBA.
Yeah,
But
man. I won't be able to watch them in the hospital.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So let me ask you this question. But I like I've been seeing like these topics, going back and forth. So one of the things that I noticed that never gets brought up is Karl Malone. Like, how do you like? And you probably know a little bit. I remember you telling me about it with what's her name that used to play for the
Straight
Detroit.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So not necessarily how do you feel about it, but why do you feel like, or how do you feel about, or why does it, or from your opinion, why does it not get the light on it that other famous superstars, or
Because
why
it's
doesn't it get
acceptable in
that lens
Utah.
on it? You said because it
Because
was in
they,
Utah?
yeah, they accept that behavior. No, but no, in seriousness, I think Carmelo, he did play in a small market for his career. If he would have been in New York or something, like you think of the era that he hooped in, the '80s and the '90s. Um, Man, if there was a player like that now, because you think about the young boy from Josh Giddey from
Hmm.
OKC, and
Hmm.
like he got caught up with the underage girl, and when you look at the age gap, it's like I forgot because was she 15 or 16? Was
Nah,
she was
14 to 13.
17?
14 to
Oh,
30. 14
oh,
to
never
13.
mind,
I remember.
never mind, never mind.
Yeah,
I thought
nah,
he's.
it's
I
almost
thought
like
he was,
um it's almost like the James Franco situation. And it's kind of like I fuck with James Franco as an actor, but I don't
yeah,
know if you remember, but like with James Franco and Seth Rogen. Not yeah, Seth Rogen.
I vaguely
Um
remember that.
like they were very, 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 very close. And then Seth was like, "Man, I don't deal with that piece of shit." I mean, I've seen some. I'm like, "Damn!" Like, but he was,
Yeah,
but the part about the James Franco thing, and like I said, I love it. I got a James Franco T-shirt. I barely wear. I don't rock it like that anymore. But like
yeah,
that dude, he doubled down. Like it was almost. I don't know if you seen or heard the academics when he was on Twitch with that 14 and 15-year-old. This
right,
was this was like some weeks ago,
yeah,
and and the little boy was just like, "Yo, like I'm 15 years old. I don't need you to send no," because he's talking about sending some women over there to him, and then he started doubling down, talking about like, "Oh no, I'm gonna send like don't double down on it." Like that's where I felt like James Franco did, and then even with Karl Malone, Karl Malone has more than one or he has more than one
because they're
kid.
twins, right?
Huh?
They were twins, right? Sheriff
Yeah,
Ford had a twin brother. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Which is you got the one that's in the NFL, and then her. Nah, wait, were they twins?
I thought they were. Let's see. I think with I don't know. I think Karl Malone at the time, like
One,
it was probably one of
one
those things
in
that
the
got
NFL right now, I thought, right?
maybe.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
that I
know.
think it's one dude that's in the NFL. I want to say he was younger than her. Um, because I mean, she's been out the league for a minute, right? Out the WNBA for a minute. Um,
Yeah, Demetrius Bell. He's 40.
oh, he's 40. Oh, okay. Well, my
Yeah,
bad.
he
It's correct.
did play in the NFL though.
Is that her? Is that her twin?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew one
Uh,
of them was younger. I thought one was younger than the other, but that was from an
he's
underage. Like, what were they doing out in Utah? Like, where y'all was just cool with? I don't know. But my thing now is like, as far as how cancel culture works, right? And I don't know if people are like, is not to overly define it, but is cancel culture a thing anymore? Because I mean, I've seen. Karl Malone interviewed about it, and he doesn't necessarily seem apologetic
No,
about
he's
it.
not. But I
So
don't think anybody makes a big deal about Karl Malone. Dang, this one, the one that played in the NFL, his mom was 13. Karl Malone was 20. I never
mm,
heard about this kid. Um,
that's what I was talking about.
no,
Yeah, okay, that's the one. Yeah,
I don't think, I just think people don't make a big deal out of Karl Malone because, like you said, he's never shown any kind of remorse or no, I won't say, I don't know if remorse is the right word, but he's never shown like, he's never been,
I guess
like you
apologetic to
said,
the kids. I mean,
yeah,
it's almost like
yeah,
he's dismissed the kids, and it's like, and it's almost like paternity suits and all that stuff. I remember it was an article where he was refusing child support at one point in time, and I think the child support was maybe it was like $300 or $400. It wasn't nothing crazy, but for a star NBA player, for to find out that that's your child and then refusing any spousal support, or not spousal, but child support. I don't know. It's just weird to me when those things kind of get swept. It's a double standard. It's like, well, if that was, I don't know, because even Giddy's playing for the Bulls right now. He's actually not, he's playing pretty good, but it's just weird that, like as you mentioned, you said whatever market you in is what
right.
gives you that exposure, and that's crazy to think that. Well, well, shoot, if I play in Indiana, what I'm saying, I can go and get these little youngins and put them on my team, versus like playing in. And I was surprised when even with Giddy going to Chicago that he would be able to survive that, but it just
Right.
kind of depends on, like, if that was, I don't want to go extreme, but if that was Bronny James or something like that, like the light would be on that so heavy, and but he plays for the Lakers and stuff like that. But
His
um,
pops said.
and
But
and his pops too. So um, it's just weird to see things like that, kind of get swept under the rug. Now let me ask you this question. And Kanye was kind of going, kind of ham these past few days, like within Twitter and whatever social media. Like, where does this end? Like, does I've always
overdose,
felt like you say what?
overdose.
Listen, man, like saying someone's child, like he's talking about um Beyonce and Jay Z's. Is it Rumi? I can't remember talking about,
Yeah,
like,
talking about one of those
being
kids.
being slow or retarded, or uncomfortable terms to be coining a kid with.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, does Jay Z kill him? Like, what? Like, how do you how do you rebound from you know talking about someone's kids on something that's out of their control as far as um their livelihood? Like, how does he, like, where does he go from here? Like, I'm just curious on your opinion on all of the wild things that he was saying.
Uh, I don't pay attention to Kanye no more, and I haven't for years. Kanye just come out and say shit like, "Look, man, if he say something where somebody decides they want to like take his life, you
Mm-hmm.
should just watch what you were saying. Somebody, if Jay Z wants to send somebody to whoop his ass, then you just got your ass whooped. Like I don't really like Kanye to me. He just talk now like, man, we continue to give him a platform. We continue to like he was going off on the Twitter rant or whatever social media rant. It seemed for like 2 or 3 days when I finally like I think I saw the Jay Z thing. I was like, oh, he wilding out. Like, but he been doing it. He just say stupid stuff, man. And like, man, I don't. Man, it's probably been a few years since I really even rocked with Kanye as a person. Like, he just. I know people want to say he got mental health issues. They want to say things about his mom passing and all of that. Like, I hear
Nah,
you, but you also got
nah.
money to like get treated for that. Like there's
Mhm.
people out here that suffer from real like people trying to play that mental health card for Kanye. There's people out here that really got mental health issues and they don't have insurance. They don't have the resources that Kanye had that they can't get the help. Like you could get the help, and I would
Mhm.
hope that there's people around you that if it's really a mental health issue, then that yeah, you might be surrounded by a lot of yes people, but I would think that you'd have somebody in your camp that would say something And if you don't, then you probably gotten rid of all of them. Like at some point, man, you gotta take accountability for what you do. So like, man, Kanye just talk, man. I don't care about Kanye one way or another. If Kanye get hit by a car, then Kanye just get hit by a car. Like I ain't really
invested anymore. Like
nah.
I'm not checking. Like I like Kanye as far as being able to make music, but even the music
And,
making part, that's been damn near almost last 5 or 10 years that I didn't care for any. Like if you asked me 10 years ago, like even best producer ever, Kanye, I would have put up there
yeah,
one, like you got Premier, Dre, Kanye, Timbaland. I would most likely put
he,
Kanye above all of them just because he's been able to cross all genres and be able to be dope
yeah,
within it. Plus, be a
hmm
pretty good artist. So
yeah,
um, I don't like it's confusing, but at the same time, it's like, man, sometimes you just gotta let people go. And
yeah,
you mentioned this before that, it's like, why are we still paying attention to Kanye? Like,
man.
it don't make no sense at all. Like, he's he's only he's at the detriment of himself at this point in time. Like, he's not an influencer. He screwed up.
He don't
I
even
can't
make good music no more. Like you
that
can't even be
part.
like, man, I'm like I would like if Kanye would have dropped a dope album, I'd listen to it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but
I mean, the music always
Kanye
speaks
don't even
volumes.
drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kanye don't even drop a dope album to make you even think to overlook some of the stupid stuff that he's saying. Like it ain't like you gotta sneak it, be like, damn man, that Kanye, yo, he talking crazy, but hey, that new joint is nice. Like
Mhm.
I'm separating the music from the person in this regard, but like Kanye, it's like, man, you don't even give me no dope music to like listen to. So like now, like I'm not coming out to try to defend you talking about somebody else's kids. I'm not trying to defend all this slavery was a choice and all this other random stupid stuff that you say. Like, man, like I tell people sometimes I feel like everybody was talking about Kanye went up there during Hurricane Katrina and was like George Bush doesn't like black people. I was like, man, we didn't realize at the time, but that was the outlier of Kanye's behavior. Like all this other stuff, like Kanye, everything he's done since then is kind of like a contradiction to that statement. Kanye ain't been pro-black. He
Mhm.
ain't been like Kanye just getting up
Kanye,
talking
Kanye,
about
Kanye
people.
isn't a voice for me. He
No,
isn't a voice
yeah,
for
like
you. He isn't a voice for all. And I'm glad you mentioned that. That's like people looked at him to be the voice. I feel like you have to be careful on who you pick to speak for you. It's like
yeah,
I would have never, even then, I would have never picked Kanye to speak for me.
no, no,
Um,
man.
there's not too many people that I would like within like there's famous people that I would think I'm like, yeah, that person speaks for like on something I wouldn't even listen to the interview. I'm like, nah, they got me. They holding me down. Like it's like Barack Obama is like one of the, like the main catalyst, or the main person. But it's just like
Man,
you don't
man,
speak.
ain't
You don't
many.
speak for the culture. You're not the
No,
culture. And even the George Bush don't like black people and stuff like that. Like I mean, I felt like he was.
he didn't say anything groundbreaking.
Yeah, I didn't. But people, but I feel like that gave him some fans to be able to say, okay, well, so then when he
Yeah,
said some of this wild shit, it's like I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm a little bit more surprised about the Nazi stuff than
yeah.
anything. That shit is just weird. It ain't even, you know, um, it
Like
it's not
you co-sign to something that don't need to be co-signed. Like
it's not warranted. Like no one
yeah,
like where's this coming from? Like at least within the George Bush thing, it was within the scenario, everybody what they was dealing with for Katrina.
right,
But this like you're just ranting about nothing to put a light on you. And
yeah, like
it's a light that I mean, dog, just at this point in time, it reminds me of the Boondocks episode of the R. Kelly, of the trials of R. Kelly. And it's like take his phone away from him.
yeah,
It was like do better for him. Like who's around him? Like who's your peoples that's just allowing you to do all of these wild things that um that makes it uncomfortable only for you. Because I mean, you had $1 billion business that it feels as if you're running it into the ground rather than it's almost like a not necessarily an Elon Musk thing because Elon Musk has way more power than Kanye will ever have, but
Right.
it's just like I mean, people still go buy Teslas, like
Mhm.
I mean, but ain't nobody checking for Kanye for a Kanye album or I mean,
Nah.
he killed his Adidas business, so I mean now he's
Yep.
doing it on his own. No one's gonna buy just Kanye's shoes by himself. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, even Adidas, supported him to the point where I mean they damn near had to get rid of him when he starts saying all of the anti-Semitism things and I always say when people double down, that's when you know kind of who they are. But even when
Right.
he was being interviewed, and it was on I think they actually pulled the interview, but it was on the Drink Champs, and he um he doubled down. He said Adidas can't fire me for being anti-Semite or something like that.
Yeah.
And they let him
Okay.
go like right after that. Like, bro, like you really messing up the bag. Like you don't and not even the bag, but just your perception as a like you don't necessarily have to cater to the masses, but at the same time, it's like don't push off
Yeah.
hate. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Yeah.
pushing off hate is a whole different like you ain't gotta like Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
don't say
You ain't
anti-Semitic
got to be
things.
careful. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's the bottom line. You know,
And then you want
but
people to say it's okay for you to do it, but come on, man.
yeah, it's crazy. So let me ask you this question on a lighter note. Did you get a chance to see Joe Budden hooping?
Yeah, I saw that little video, man. That's why I don't even know why they had cameras rolling, man.
It was bad. I didn't realize, you know, not to say that I'm this workout specimen or anything like that, but seeing somebody like it made him. I see him in a different light. It is weird too because we older and shit, but at the same time, you're not gonna see me out hooping anywhere in
Right.
the under the shirt wife beater. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like he was in the like he took his shirt off and then he was in a beater, type of stuff versus in hooping, versus just like a tank top or a jersey or something like that. So that shit look hella uncomfortable, but I just found that shit hilarious. But did you another thing? Did you see and it may be an old video, but I don't know. But I know Club 520 pointed it out. But the Dwayne Wade teaching Czar how to dribble.
Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. That
And
was
I was not expecting it. Like my guy, he sent me the video.
yeah.
He's like, yo, look at this. And then I'm watching it, and I just see because I like B Hen a lot. He's funny too. I like everybody. B Hen, Jay, DJ, and Jeff Teague. But he just couldn't stop laughing, and that kept making me laugh. As I keep rewatching it and shit. But it was just funny. I mean, just bouncing the ball with your ass. This shit was fucking hilarious. So
Hilarious.
on the last note, what's the next Lego set that you about to knock out or complete?
Probably gonna start Home Alone if my job ever gives me a chance to actually start it.
Okay. I'm on Home
What
Alone right
about you?
now. I'm on
Okay.
Home Alone right now. I'm about 7 bags in, which is a fair amount, but it's still only like the first floor. But
Right.
I'm getting there, but I'm trying to commit at least a half an hour or an hour before, work starts and stuff like that, just to, mental escape and just to clear my head and not think about things. Sometimes I just, throw on some music and just do that for maybe about, half hour, depending on how big the bags is. Sometimes with the bags,
Right.
they I can get through them pretty quickly and I just go to the next bag. But then sometimes
Hmm.
the bags be two parts of the bags where you got to
Right.
break open 7.1 and 7.2 to be able to complete them. But yeah, Home
Yeah,
Alone is gonna take me. Maybe I think it may take me a couple months. Just depends. But I got to get back to it. If I'm not doing it, I probably won't do it today. But I'll probably focus on it like throughout the week. So
yeah, I'm gonna try and start it this week. I moved my Lego building area upstairs, so I'm gonna try to. I might carry it up there today in preparation, but
okay.
yeah, I'm looking at my Lego sets now. Oh. I thought about doing the Kodak camera one, the Polaroid camera one,
Hmm.
just to get back into it. But I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll
See, I
see.
want to get to. I want to hurry up and get the Green Gods. I probably should have started Green Gods before I started
Oh
Home
yeah.
Alone. But because like I said, Green or Home Alone's gonna take so much time. But the Green Gods is probably the one I'm gonna do after that. Or I may just take a smaller set and just for time in
Yeah.
between doing the Green Gods, so I'm just not so exhausted of taking almost 2 months to be able to complete a set. But definitely the Home Alone is the one I want to get done. I need to find it, but I want to get the lights for it or whatever. I think the lights cost maybe 60 to a
Oh,
hundred
okay.
dollars. But I like
No,
the
that wouldn't
way,
be bad.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I got it for Thor's hammer,
Okay.
which is pretty dope. So yeah, so the lights come on for that.
Right.
But that'll probably be the next thing I look at. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try and get back into it. Like you
okay,
said, a half hour a day or something.
okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Well, thanks, Ed, man. Always great talking to
cool.
you. We'll talk next week. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, um, pass the video to anybody else that you think that makes sense, or pass the audio to anybody that you think likes the things that we like that we talk about. We talk about everything from sports, entertainment, music, etc. Thank you all for tuning in to the DJ Reality or to the Reality or Not podcast with the homie Ed Williams. Talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.